Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining this new live session. We're going to let some attendees join right now from the waiting room and start off in just a couple of minutes. Thank you. We're going to be doing something different today, so thank you for joining. I hope you don't mind. I have some throat issues. I hope you can hear me well, and we're going to get started. What is Customily? Most of you installed the app quite recently and are either getting started with your store from scratch or beginning the process of selling personalizable products on an existing store. For both cases, we have the perfect tool to get started. We are an app that provides your store with live previews of products along with options that your customers can interact with, changing those live previews with every interaction. From text typing to clip art selection or image upload, your preview will change and give you a realistic example of how your customization will look on the product. At the same time, while you are previewing a finished product, Customity will create a ready-to-print file with that information you customize and send that file to the merchant so they can fulfill. So it's saving you a lot of time, cutting the middleman, reducing the back and forth information with your final customers, and engaging into a really interesting experience of doing your own customization, being certain of what you want, getting everything ready at once, and of course, increasing conversion rate in the process. If you check, for example, this product, you will see that we can change the quote that shows up on one side of the mug, and we can actually type something here and change. I mean, I put this as an example, but I could type like this, or or something like that. As you can see, anything you type will reflect directly in your product. Another example that I have here is, well, these napkins. Now, as you can see, we are going to be doing some 4th of July related products, not only today, but also on Thursday. And we're going to give you inspiration. In this case, I'm not typing anything. I'm just suggesting a name for a family. It could be this, or it could be, I don't know, like this. Now, the cool thing is we actually get the family to show before and after what we type. As you know, sometimes customers would like to go straight to their own name, don't go through the process, even if you suggest that. So Customity can simplify all the steps and give you a great customization. Now, this preview is done by loading a template as well as the options. And these two elements, the template and the options, are created in Customity. If you follow the steps of creating a template from scratch, you'll be able to create the options automatically and connect them to any of your existing products. As simple as that. Okay, let's start from the beginning. Imagine I'm a store owner and I want to start selling personalized products and just install Customity to try it out. If you have checked previous live sessions or you're new today and you will check later some previous live session, you will see that we have been working entirely on Shopify stores. That's because we have a very advanced app version for that platform, and we're focusing right now on developing that kind of stores. However, Customily can run on pretty much any e-commerce platform, and I'm talking about BigCommerce, Magento, WooCommerce, Shopify, as mentioned, Walmart, and Etsy. And today we are going to talk about Etsy. Why? Because we are just around the corner of a new upgrade of our Etsy tools, and we want you to understand how Customity works on Etsy and how it's going to be improved in the future. So today we're going to talk about Customily correctly, but instead of talking about the tools we have seen before and the interface we have seen before with Shopify stores, we're going to get started with the Etsy. Still, you are in the main menu of Customily. And you can see at the left bar that we have 6 sections. The first 3 sections are shortcuts to the 2.0 tools, and this 2.0 version is only for Shopify users. But the other 3 sections are the main core of Customily. You can explore, manage, and create your templates, upload and organize your assets in libraries, colors, fonts, vectors, and images. And you can see all your connected products in the store section. This is for Shopify owners, as you have seen before. You can also change many settings that will help you customize the front end experience of your customers. Now you're wondering why I skipped this icon here. So when you have Customily installed on an Etsy store, okay, and you sign up for Customily for Etsy, you will have the templates, the libraries, and the manage options. This is the interface for Etsy stores. Now the cool thing is nothing stops you from having a Shopify and an Etsy store, and you'll be able to start sharing information between those eventually. But right now, when we go to the template part, remember the template is what loads here. You'll be able to share those between different stores. Now, right now, the idea is to explore the manage options. This is our new thing of today. And of course, we're going to create the 2 products that I showed you before. We're going to create the 4th of July napkins and also the mug. We have all the information ready, and you'll be also having that information later on when we upload the video of this live session in order for you to download the assets and repeat with me all these tutorials. So let's start exploring first our templates, right? So whenever we want to start off with a new product, we're going to start with a template. Now, you should know that if you have an Etsy store like this, I have an Etsy store here, yeah, I have my listings, and of course, I have already installed Customily and I have connected Customily to my Etsy, so I'll be able to see all these listings on Customily's backend. As you can see, I have this 4th of July product and this mug, this napkin and this mug product. And the idea is that, of course, you can go into this listing and you can actually type in, for example, the customization and the description. Now, this is how Etsy works all the time. You type in what you want, and you will have a lot of pictures to show you how the product works, and eventually you'll buy, and that's it. Now, how do you customize if you cannot change live a preview on Etsy? Because the way Etsy works as a marketplace is that you have to have the same structure of a listing that everyone else has. You can have as much information as you want here, and you can have as much details, but in the end, the live preview will happen after you do the purchase. You get an email from Customily giving you a special link that is this, and here you'll be able to customize and submit this right there. So you as a merchant will get 2 emails, the email confirming the purchase, and then you will get the email with the personalization that matches that order. And you'll be able to gather the information, get the print file, and do the fulfillment. So it's really easy, and it's up to you to build your listings in an amazing way. And I'm going to show you examples from our customers that it will explain your customers how you are going to be personalizing that, so they know they need to expect an email, and they need to they will see these many options available. You can have many images, you can have videos, and that's always great to better understand. Basically, you're gonna get an email like this: your Etsy order is ready to personalize. This is a purchase we did, and I, as a merchant, I got this. And I can click here. You see, this is the detail of what I bought, the order number, and I can click here to personalize this right there on the store. So let's go back here and let's create this together. Okay. First things first, I mentioned you that we need to load a template and a set of options. So first we need to create the template. Basically, we are going to set up how we want to print something and how we want that something that we are printing to show on the front end. And let me start with the napkins, okay? So I'm going to create a new template. And in the create new template area, I'm going to name this, let's say, live session 4th of July napkin. Excellent. My particular napkin is 10 by 10 centimeters. So this is a nice print area, and we're going to create this. Now we have an open canvas and a blank canvas, and we need to start adding things. Now I have the napkin design, and I also know that I'm going to be adding the text, right? The family text like this. So this design is something you start with, is something you have saved previously, so you can create a dynamic image, which is an object that will allow you to upload your designs. To go over quickly about our tools, you will see that we have text boxes and curved text boxes that we can that will allow our customers to type in any text. Within these text elements, we can change the fonts, change the colors, and rearrange them any way we want on the design. We can also create placeholders, images, and vectors. These objects are meant for our customers to upload their own images. And I invite you to go back to some other live sessions to see how they work, because they have a lot of tools and amazing settings that will help you have your customers upload images that are shaped like a heart, or or have like a frame, something really interesting. But placeholders are for your customers to upload images. And dynamic images and vectors are objects that will allow us to put our own designs. For example, I'm going to upload here and go straight to this. So let me see. This is the napkin print. Yeah, this is what I want. I'm going to open this. So now I have the full design. I should reshape this by dragging this or moving around, but I can just click on transform and go be more precise like this. And this will be 100 by 100. Yeah, perfect. And if I go out there, I can actually click on any of the alignment tools that I have here to set this right. I'm going to open the layers, and now I see I have a lot of, I'm going to have many items here, depending on how complex is my design. I can always double click here and rename this as background design. Right? So this is our design. And we're going to add the text for the family name, correct? A couple of extra customizable items that we didn't cover much, but we are definitely have covered that before in other live sessions, are the maps and the star maps. I really encourage you to check them out, because they're really amazing, and they provide to be great great design elements when you're setting up customizable products. So getting into this, I'm going to create a text box. And now I can move this around. I don't want this to actually boom by accident, so I'm going to lock this so it doesn't move. And now I can freely shape around this. So let me resize this to go a bit here and a bit here, and like this. Yeah, that sounds a bit right. Yeah, I can always type in here the precise coordinates if I want. I don't know if I want this to be 15 by 14 and to be within, yeah, centered in the 50, but it's not perfectly centered the design, so I may want to just have this work the way I want. And another thing you can change about the text elements is the font. So I'm going to close the transform to tab and open the character tab. Here I can upload my own fonts from my computer, or I can, and whenever I upload them, I start building a database that I can access at any time and find any font that I want. In this particular case, I like it font that I wanted to show, and let me see if I find it here. I didn't upload that. Okay. So I'm going to upload that font right here. Okay. And once that is uploaded, I'm going to find it like this. Yeah, it's showing like that. Depending on the font, you may want to adjust the sizes. There's a maximum size, for example, like this 50, and a minimum size that can be really small, like that. And if we don't want that, we can set this to be 40. That means that whenever you start typing, yeah, and you keep typing, actually, yeah, typing and typing and typing, it will start to shrink and shrink and shrink until it reaches the minimum size. Of course, if there's not a style that you want in particular, I like this when it's actually all caps. I can set that up, and I can check out the alignment depending on the font. In this case, this alignment seems to be the best way to go. So I can go like that. Yeah, and be sure it's working the way I want. This is pretty much it, right? Remember, we actually had an example that was like Smith. Yeah, this is what your customer types. But what about what we add extra? We want that to be automatically setting up the family. And we can do that with an advanced tool here called prefix and suffix. The prefix will be, of course, in capitals, the space, yeah, and the suffix will be family, actually with another space at the beginning. So whatever we type here will always be pre-followed and after followed by these two. It's a great way to simplify stuff. And the moment you start typing, they will show up. That's how you set up the print file, okay, of of your product. And now that you're ready and you have your, okay, this will be family name, yeah, text element. Now you're already set to go. We're going to put this on our mockup. And for that, we're going to click down. We're going to click, select the export format. This is very important because if you're going to be printing this particular file in, I don't know, 100 copies of this, you will need a particular format file. That depends on your printer, depends on your fulfillment, but it can be, you see, Customily has a lot of files format. We have EPS, DXF, or these are vectors. These two are images. Okay, maybe with images will be just fine, or let's go with PDF and have this in vector quality. So now that we are set, we're going to click next, and we're going to design our preview. Now we will have the same information we had before. We will have the napkin plus the family. We're just going to also have the background of the product. And if you check here, I actually have a photo, this preview, that actually has two napkins. Okay, but I actually created one print and one family. Okay, that's something that can happen, but you can always go back one step and review this one. In this case, I'm fine with printing this, but apparently our preview will have two. Well, maybe because it's a presentation, it's the way you want to show it. Remember, that's entirely up to you and how you want to present your product. But I'm taking advantage of this example to show you a quick trick. If you're going to be presenting two copies of the same product and you want, of course, to have two text elements, even if you're going to be printing one, there's a cool tool here that says duplicate. And you're going to create like a clone item that will behave exactly the same. So now I can type hello, and it's going to behave exactly the same way. Now you can push this away because you don't need this to be printed. You just need one, but you have two of them. Why? Because you want to present two text elements. If you check out previous live sessions, you will see that we use this clone trick to create shadow effects and depth effects as well. It's a common trick we use in Customily, and we are ready to set up our background image of the product. Obviously, the print image, the background, we don't need this to be showing because we have our mockup. We only want this to show up. One will be around here, and the other one will be around here. Of course, they are aligned, so you can actually grab those two and align them together like that. And if we need to resize them to match, for example, our mockups, that's fine because you can resize them without affecting the print file. If you see there's a slight difference between one and the other, you can always go back to the first step and fix that. That's no problem. Usually when you clone something, you need to realign some things because it's like a brand new product, or sorry, brand new object. So let's do that really quickly. We have time, and it's nice to go over our steps and double check. Basically what happened here is that I had this set up on the bottom. Yeah, just like that. Perfect. Yeah, we just need to go for this and all back to normal. They are both aligned, looking the same. You're just going to adjust the size, and the mockup is ready to go. How do we do a final revision of this? I mean, you can always type in and double check they behave the same way, but before you save this template on the last step of Customily, you get to see a final revision, and you get to see what's going to be printed and what's showing up in your store. Yeah, so you have a context here, you have a drop shadow, and you have two items because it looks better, or you have this product to start with. But this is just setting up for the customers to see, and this is how you get printed. So if I grab this and I test this, I get to see that it changes on the preview, and it also changes on the production file. That's all we need to know that is working. So I'm going to save this template. Okay. And we're going to get ready to connect this to Etsy. You see, I have also Shopify, so I'm asking for that, but I'm going to manage options. Okay. Now, for that, what I'm going to do quickly is shift my user because, well, to be fair, my demo store is working under another Customily user. So if you give me 1 second, there you go. As quickly as that, and we're ready to go. It's the same. Oh, you see a lot of things here, but don't get scared. So now we're going to manage option to see how this looks. It's a bit different if you are familiar with Shopify, but it's all working just. You will see very familiar terms like the option sets and the link to a listing or a product. First things first, we need to set up our option set. And for that, we need the information from the template. So the template, if you see, has a particular ID that you will see here. This ID you can copy. And remember this when you go to manage options. So first, you need to create the options for this particular template. So we go to option sets. We have a lot, of course, but if we create a new option set from template, you are asked for the ID, yeah? And you're asked for a title for this. So we're going to call this live session 4th of July. Okay, and we're going to save this. It's doing really fast, the option set, and now you have that. Remember, we had two text elements, so Customily found those two and created the same option. Basically, it's the same that behaves twice, so There's one option we don't need. Just delete that and go. And here we can customize this any way we want. When we open this, we have the option label will be family name. We may have help text or not, but in the placeholder, we can have this to be Smith. Can be the placeholder. It's like a suggestion. We can set a maximum number of characters or not, and the rest is all working perfectly. It's connected to a particular object in your template, and that's it. Okay, so now we have the option set. Let's go back to the list of options set and back to the beginning of manage options. Now we're going to connect this to a Etsy listing, basically our our napkin listing, this one. So since we have our Customily connected to Etsy, if we go to link, we're going to see all our Etsy listings right here. And you will find those connected to Customily already will have a check that are valid, a preview here when you can see how the personalization page looks, and the chance to disconnect. If they don't have anything, you are free to connect them using Customily. So first you select the listing. Always follow this, will give you the best guidance on what to do. Click on the product, click on the template. You can search by the ID as well. It's going to be the fastest way, yeah. And then select the option set. Okay. And now you have that. This is the personalizer link that will show when a customer fulfills an order. So you purchase this napkin on Etsy, you get an email. Remember the email, it looks like this, and you click on personalize, and the link you see here, you get in this button, is this link. Of course, you as a Customily user can check this anytime you want, but your customers will get that once. They will submit their personalization, and you will have all the information available. So I click here, and I see this. This is my preview from my template. This is my these are my options, my placeholder, and I can just type and see how things behave. As simple as that. And I submit this, and that goes straight to the merchant email. Well, questions so far before we go into the mug? Great. Give me a second. Today's not a good day for the throat. So back to Customily. Okay, we have this working. Yeah, and we see now our listing has this working. I can always click again to open this and preview. Remember, you're setting this up on your template and your option set. So if you need to make changes, you want to always preview this. And we are going to create the other product. Remember, the other product is the mug. Now, for the mug, obviously, you need to have a special size for the print area because it's a wraparound. And you also need to have the right mockup that will show front and back. But once you have those, okay, and just so you know, we took this mockup from Printify. So if you're using Printify, you're going to get this sorted out really fast. Okay, but we have that image and we're ready to go. Again, we are going to the templates. And we are going to create a new template that's going to be called Live Session for July. Well, yeah. We know because we are going to be fulfilling this that we have a wraparound area, print area of 9 by 3.5 inches. And this is usually the proportion of mug print. Our fulfillment will need things in PDF. So all said and done, we are ready to go. First, we need to have, we're going to offer two things. The chance for you to type something in about 3 lines, for example. You can jump lines and do that, just like we did in the example. And we're going to be able to select a clipart. So to select a clipart first, we're going to create a library. So we explore a bit more about libraries. I'm going to keep this open and I'm going to open another tab in Customily. We're not going to be creating anything else, so don't worry about this. We're going to libraries. In libraries, as I mentioned before, you have color, fonts, vectors, and images. I'm going to images, and I have a lot of libraries here with a lot of designs, but I want to create a new one that's going to be called the 4th of July clipart. Create. Now, because I have a lot of pages, I can go to the last page or find here for going to be faster. Okay, you have 4th of July woman clothes, and we have clipart. Oh. So let's edit this. It's empty, of course, and we're going to add images. When you add image, you start in the first position, of course, and you click upload and find those. In this case, I have 4 quotes. I'm going to select them all 4, and 4 images will be uploaded in bulk. And that's it. So we have quote 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now that we have this library, we can go back to our template and create a dynamic image. Remember, dynamic images are the ones that allow you to upload your own designs. I could actually upload them, but it's faster for me to just find this library, sorry, and preview that here. Because my designs are square, I think I'm going to just change this around like this, and put it here like that. Let me see if vertically, yeah, perfect. So now I have one side of the mug, then it wraps around in the part that you're not going to be printing, or yes, that's entirely up to you. And then we have the quote. Now, the cool thing about dynamic images is that you can preview in the options here, you can preview the designs. It will help you to see if something is out of position or too big or too small. Okay, excellent. And now I'm going to create a text box. Now, unlike the other text box that was a single line, I'm going to be allowing this to have multiple lines. So I need to make this bigger. I think this was 75. Yeah, so let's do the same. Yeah, and center this and have it move all the way here. So now on one side we have the design, on the other we have the text. And well, let's change the font. I want to use the same font because we're kind of into the same style today, and I'm looking for that font in here. Okay, very important. I want this to be a multi-line text. So if customer starts typing and they want to, and they reach the end of the box, they will shrink until it's really small and then jump to the next line. But if I actually do like this, and maybe I want to set up all caps again, okay, I'm going to keep typing and typing and typing. And when I get to the end of the box, I shrink to the minimum size and then I jump to the next line. I can always click here and jump myself, but otherwise Customily will jump for you. As long as we can cover the entire box, that's going to be working. Now, if we change the sizes, I mean, if I go to, I know, 180, yeah, perfect. So this is around 57, okay, that will be 50. But if I put 140, of course, I lose some text, basically because I have the minimum possible size now, as well as the maximum. Now I'm going, of course, any of this, none of this will be printing except for this one. This thing, yeah. Now we're going to stay with this, so we know we can type 3 lines, yeah, and I could actually have like a big word. Now the thing about having one unique word without any spaces is that Customily cannot jump the line if there's no real text. So when you do something like this, you're not really testing. You're not being a customer that is typing something. And so you're seeing kind of the end of this. But if you type something like now that's more like it, and the text will adapt. Why? Because it's finding different different words, because it's finding a space, it's able to jump into lines. You can, of course, force this yourself by jumping and by jumping. There's no limitation in that. At all. But that's kind of how you set up your text. Now let's check again, horizontal alignment to the center. Yeah, everything seems to be centered and perfectly working. So nothing else to add, I believe. We are all set to go to the next step, in the step in which we put this into a preview. Nobody wants to see this as the preview. This is just for printing. So we click next, and let's go to use a background image. For example, this base. Great. So now I have this quote selection and this text, and I can rearrange them so they will be more into what's going to be printed, like that. Okay. We may want to grab this and put it here. It's okay because it's just an image. We are wrapping around this. Of course, I can preview things and type in like that. Now, imagine for a second that you have an image or a background that will expand as much as the entire mug. You may want to offer something that involves a background, for example. So or let's say I can actually make this bigger. I'm going to print this as a background. Now that's out of control. And imagine you are printing like this, but you cannot show this on the front end. So how do you solve a design that should go beyond the edges? You can, in the second step, you cannot create more objects like text elements or maps or placeholders, but you can create dynamic images. Why? Because you can always add an extra item, an extra texture, anything at all. So I create a dynamic image and I upload something we call a mask. And you see the mask, you see my sky blue selection that goes inside. This means that this object is transparent in that place. And you can see that here on the product. Actually, that's transparent. So if I were to resize this to the big size of the preview, which is 1200 by 1200, center this vertical and horizontal, now I get to print in the full extent of my print area and showcase that in the mug. Obviously, this is not the way we're going to be doing this, But I wanted to show you really quickly that if you actually, on the first step, you have a full background and you want that to show properly here, you will need to create an object that is a mask that it's done in Photoshop, and you can check tutorials we have on that on our help center to create overlays, to create cutouts with transparency. It's the same image that we cut out the whole, um, the whole mug. And when we put that on top of all the layers, it's going to cover whatever we have on our design, including the background. So, I mean, we're going to be printing this as so, but in any case, we had a background or we wanted this to be really big, we can showcase in the preview. This is just for the preview. So they can see how a mug with full print will look like. Before I save this, do we have questions about this that I just explained? Okay. Well, let's save this. Before saving, we always have the final revision. We are printing this and previewing this. Seems a bit interesting, yeah, to know that your customers will see this and you will get this file, and all you need to do when they actually select this and type, it's amazing that you have all ready to print by saying this. Sorry. Okay, all said and done. Let's go back to the templates and go again to manage options. Actually, I didn't copy the ID. That was something that I should have really quickly. Let me copy this. Yeah. And go to manage options. Why? Because we are going to create the option set for that new template. Go to new option set from template, put this ID, call this live session 4th of July mug, save it, and check it out. We have now we have a text input. Are familiar with this? This is basically type your message, okay? And we can have an initial value. Well, instead of a placeholder, which is a suggestion, we're going to type something right there, like the family, like that. There's no limit in the number of characters. We may need to make this a text area, yeah, so customers will have more space to type. And well, let's limit this to 3 lines, just in case they keep jumping with the line, with the enter. We don't want that to go crazy. So we have all set up for your type your message. But what about the swatch? This was created by Customily automatically and is this really nice thumbnails of the options available in that library. We can name this any way you want, so I can call this select quote, yeah, and I can have one by default. I want to show by default, I want to show this, and call this the happy face, yeah, for example. If I copy this and put it as a tooltip, the tooltip basically is this black bubble that shows up is going to show up on the front end. This one is well, happy. Okay, so we have texts, for example, and this one is big firework, yeah. And the other one is going to be the two fireworks. To name this different than just all Happy 4th of July. So now that we have these quotes and we actually personalized them the way we want them to show to have more appeal to the customer, we can save this, okay, and go back to the list of option set and back to the customity options. Again, we're going to link this to an existing listing. Now, in this case, I have a 4th of mug. It's already linked, but I'm going to link that again. I just click here, find my template, 4th of live session, yeah. Find my option set here, and get a new listing. This link will take you to the customization. You see the select quote has a pre-made, has the happy face by default. You see the tooltips showing up, the message, the smooth family by default, and I can play around with this and all is working really easily and change this any way I want. I wanted to show you this. This is one of our customity users selling on Etsy. Okay, they have print sizes with prices. This is all done within Etsy. This is a common Etsy listing. There's information you can customize here, but we are dropping this. And when you buy this or you add to cart, you will get that that email. And how do you tell customers about this? You have this. After making your purchase, you get an email with a special link, and you click on that link to access the personalization price. You can also show that on your gallery in here, so you know what will happen, your customers will know what will happen, and you can also show how the personalization link looks like, so they understand what to expect. Even you can make videos, since you can upload videos to your Etsy listing, you can tape yourself customizing this in the Customity Personalizer link and share this so customers will know perfectly. So you have a lot of examples. You have a view of the personalizer. You have a view of the email. And I always recommend doing something like this, using your listing to provide full information of the process, okay, which is a process that we have to follow as per Etsy rules, but nothing stops you from explaining your shoppers how it works, and so they will know what to expect an email to if they don't get it, they will check the spam folder, which is very rare, but we need to cover that. And if they get the email and they click on the personalize button, they will go straight to the links that I show you, and they can personalize this. They will get a confirmation. You as a merchant will get a preview and of the customization plus the print file. Everything will be stored in the manage options. You can double check that here in the orders here. So you could actually type in the order number and find the personalization to get all the details and the links and everything to download. So it's pretty easy to double check, pretty easy to save. All you need to do is make the most of your listings, create your templates and your options to be attractive and appealing to your customers, and you're all ready to go. I think that's all the time we have for today, and also for my throat. I hope it was useful and that it helps you start selling more personalized products. We're going to be uploading this copy of the live session, okay? And any questions, you can always write an email to support@customity.com, open a live chat in the app during business hours in Eastern time mostly, or join in Facebook communities We have a lot of customers that interact, that share ideas, share tips and stuff, or comment on the live sessions, add new suggestions for new products. So we're always open for that kind of feedback. Thank you again for your time, and I hope to see you on Thursday. Have a great end of the day. Bye bye.